Hi, I'm Tanya Chappell with Secure Investments Realty, and I am here with Zach Heern with Dreyers DKI. Hi, Zach.
Tanya.
So we are at One Love Cafe, one of our favorite little eating spots here in Gainesville, and we just wanted to talk about some of the problems that you tend to get this time of year. So what are some of your top service calls?
All right, so our top ones are definitely water, and then the second one is tree damage. Being in Gainesville, we have a lot of trees here, and the tree damage also usually leads to water problems.
Sure, yeah, tree on roof. So I looked back and I noticed over the last 5 years we've had 15 different jobs together.
That's a lot. Yeah.
It is, but I manage a lot of properties. So one of the prevailing issue is water. You know, either like a supply line that has broken, or a pipe in the wall bursting, or like you're saying, a tree on the roof.
Yeah.
So what are the steps you would take? Like for instance, that toilet that burst in the upstairs apartment and flooded the apartment all night long. We walk in the next morning, you got drywall falling off of the ceiling, and I call Dreyer. So what is it that you do when that happens?
Right, so really the first thing is to identify the source of the water. You have to stop it first. And then once we do that, we have to get the water out of there. Sometimes there's inches of water in the floor, so we have to remove it. And then from there, we can put dehumidifiers in place. We can remove trim around walls to kind of help get that deep drying. And then after that, it's a process over a couple of days to monitor and make sure that everything's drying out quickly and efficiently.
Yeah. So once you've gone in and you've extracted all of the water, what would be the next step?
Right, so after we've gone in, done all the water mitigation, we want to get the house back to normal. We want to get it back to its pre-loss condition. And we kind of view that almost as a separate job. So we would go out, we would do an estimate, we would figure out the scope of the work, what it would take, and then we present that to the tenant or the property manager, and we take the steps from there to restore the house through usually construction processes.
Okay, and so like if the home is in management, then of course they're going to work with the property manager,
Right.
give us the estimates, and then we're going to get with our homeowner who, you know, will go over the estimates. They'll be able to talk with you directly.
That's right.
And then also we're usually working with an insurance company on top of that. And so you're familiar with working with the insurance companies and know what kind of paperwork that they need to have and all that. So what are some things that we can do to kind of mitigate some of these damages or keep them from preventing them, in fact?
Right. So we've kind of been on this thread of water and then tree damage to homes. And so really beginning with the water, with the toilet supply line, you want to make sure you use steel braided hoses. I know it can be tempting to kind of go the cheaper route and get just a couple dollars supply line, but you really want to spend a little extra money and get the steel braided hoses. And then as far as with trees, it's just, you know, more routine home maintenance. So you want to keep up with the property. If you have dead trees on the property, you want to get rid of them. Even healthy trees, you want to make sure and prune them and trim them. And then as far as the house and the structure itself, if you have gutters, you want to keep them free of leaves. If you have a lot of windows or chimneys, you want to caulk around those, and then check on that caulk regularly throughout the year just to make sure that it's still holding up and doing its job.
Yeah, so we happen to do inspections on our properties every 4 months. So we go through, and that's one of the things that we actually look at is caulking around tubs. We look for any kind of leaking. We also look at the trees outside, see if there's any threatening branches or anything like that. And then that way we can kind of prevent that ahead of time. But so I also noticed another thing that we had was flooding from Hogtown Creek.
Oh, yeah.
So there are some properties that are close to creeks that don't normally flood,
That's right.
but when you're having an excessive amount of rain, like we're probably going to have this year and we have had already, then you may have a little bit of that localized flooding.
That's right.
And so if you're in an area like that, having sandbags on hand already is going to be helpful.
That's right.
So,
And yeah, and you don't want to, you know, while you're thinking about being proactive, you don't want to wait until there's an impending storm like a hurricane that's a week out, because supplies like sandbags and plywood and other lumber are going to have a high demand. And so you want to make sure and have that stuff on hand ahead of time, especially if you live by a creek that may not usually flood during normal rains, but if you get 10 to 15 inches during a hurricane, you can actually have water in your house. And so you want to just be proactive throughout the year so that when the inevitable does happen, you're ready.
yes, definitely. But if the inevitable does happen and you need somebody to take care of it, I highly recommend using Dreyers DKI. So what is the best way for them to get in touch with you?
Right, so phone number where if you have an emergency service, so you can call us at 888-378-6003. But just in the meantime, you can also check us out on our website. It's DryersDKI.com, and you can go on there. It has all of our information and our full range of services. Or you can check us out on Facebook as well.
Okay. And if you don't want to have to worry about dealing with all of these problems yourself and you need a very good property manager, I know who you could call. So thanks for sitting with us today, and be sure to check out Dreyers online.